Good Wednesday morning. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. I'm bringing you a True View exterior severe outlook because our severe chances after a lull yesterday will ramp up a bit today. In my opinion, they'll ramp up more tomorrow. But we'll take a look at the Storm Prediction Center outlooks, and we'll take a look at some current radar on a storm cluster we're watching right now. So here's the Storm Prediction Center outlook for today. I mentioned yesterday I thought that a marginal or a slight risk could be added. We have a slight risk across much of Indiana with a marginal risk in northern Indiana and the kind of far southwestern tip of the state. Here's a look at the tornado outlook for today. That may be a bit far south, but we'll see how things develop as the day progresses. And then here's a look at the severe winds or damaging winds. We're in a slight risk for that, a 15 to 29% risk of damaging winds with some storms that could pop up. And then the hail outlook, it keeps the hail mostly out across Illinois. That could change later in the day, or actually in the evening, but we'll see. It's all going to depend on timing of storms and when they actually pop up in this first cluster, much like the other day, may determine what happens later on. Here's a look at the SPC for tomorrow, Thursday. Got a slight risk across much of the state. I think that's fair. Again, I wouldn't be surprised to see that be expanded some. They keep the tornado outlook to our northwest. Again, I think that might need to come farther into northern Indiana, maybe even to parts of Ohio, but that's still tomorrow. We got to deal with today first. Again, damaging winds are the primary threat as usual, and there may be more of a hail threat tomorrow as well. I do think tomorrow is going to end up being an all modes of severe threat day for Madison County, but Storm Prediction Center doesn't agree right now, and so I'll show you what I showed you what the official outlook was. And then as we're getting into Friday, we're in a marginal risk for severe. That would be more of a damaging wind threat, and that may be earlier in the day as much of this energy will finally begin to move its way out. Although we do have a storm system we're going to be watching for Friday night into Saturday as well. We'll see how that all develops. So here's a look at the current radar. We're at 10:35 as I'm doing this part of the video, and we can see the stronger cluster out here over eastern Illinois getting ready to cross the state line. There's some advisories up ahead of that line for 50 to 55 mile per hour winds and small hail. The question on that is, much like the other morning, is how far east will this come? It's not prime time for these kind of storms, but this is a pretty potent little piece of energy that's going on over there. So it may find a way to hold itself together. What it does may dictate what happens later in the day. We'll put the radar into motion, and you can see that it's holding together pretty well. But one of the things that I'm seeing kind of in the backside is, watch this back in here, and it's maybe starting to develop a little bit of a southward pull. The question is, will that hold itself together and begin to pull that entire line to the south, or will it continue on its path? If it continues on its path, then somewhere between noon and 1 o'clock, Madison County could be dealing with this line of storms. If it does hold itself together, we'll be getting into a point in the day where it could be more potent. We're seeing a little bit of a bow out right there, so there may be some stronger winds. The strongest winds may be pushing in that part of the line. Again, that would affect Madison County if it holds together. So I'll keep an eye on that. Just wanted to give you an update on the severe potential. Again, slight risk for severe today. In my opinion, all modes are possible. Again, slight risk again tomorrow. Again, in my opinion, all modes of severe possible. So we'll update this as this progresses. We'll see how this goes. Much like the other day, if this line falls apart, we'll want to look at where it fell apart, and then that could be the focal point for development of severe later in the day. This is Micah Mitchell with Madison County Weather Updates. Have a great day, stay weather aware, and we'll update if needed.